Welcome back. It's good to be with you tonight, and we apologize for the technical difficulties, but we're certainly delighted to have Senator Marsha Blackburn with us tonight to talk about the coronavirus and what she's doing to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. Senator Blackburn, it's good to have you on this evening.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
All right. Now, Senator, you have some very strong feelings about China and the coronavirus and what has happened, and not so much looking backwards, but looking forward. What is it that you're trying to do going forward vis-a-vis China and this country?
One of the things we need to do is pass this resolution, Senate Resolution 553, that will explicitly lay out that we know China is responsible for this global pandemic, that they hid information, they were not transparent in what they knew, they refused the help, they tried to blame it on the U.S. Army, and China should be called to account for this. Because of their bad behavior, the global pandemic is much worse than it would have been.
All right. Now, let's assume that something like that passes. How does that help us in any way in terms of the pandemic or in terms of sanctioning China or anyone else for what has happened?
Well, Janine, what it would do is send that message to China, to the People's Republic of China, to the Communist Party there, that the U.S. Senate fully understands what they did and that they chose to hide this. And when the World Health Organization wanted to go in and the CDC wanted to go in, they did not want us to go in there. And because of their actions, this is much worse. And I will tell you, I'm one of those, I think that China should be held to account financially for what they have done. They hold a lot of our debt. Maybe they should waive that debt. But they should be held to account for this. And then you look at
Senator, let me ask.
Yeah.
Senator, excuse me, why do you think that the president has been so kind saying that Xi Jinping is, they're going to fight the coronavirus together? The president was very tough on China with respect to trade and with respect to the intellectual property problems. And now he seems to be on a very different footing. Why do you think that is?
I think we're very fortunate to have Donald Trump as president right now because he called attention during the campaign to that we were too dependent on China. And you're exactly right, whether it comes to military or to technology or to our consumables and consumer goods, and of course also our pharmaceuticals. We are far too dependent on China. And President Trump was right to raise that. He is also right to try to have a working relationship with President Xi so that we can get to the bottom of the coronavirus, stop this COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, and finally, in terms of the president and in terms of China, the supply chain, what do we have to do to get our supply chain back to this country so that America truly is first in terms of the preparation and the making of our own medications?
Yes, exactly. And that is my legislation, the SAMC bill, Securing America's Medicine Cabinet. What it would do is to incentivize bringing that pharmaceutical manufacturing and production back on U.S. shores. That is what we want to do. On February 27th, one of the active pharmaceutical ingredients we need for one of the medications, the antivirals, for COVID-19. That is manufactured in China. It is the sole source. What did China want to do? They said, well, we may not let you have that. Now, this is on top of once when we needed penicillin, we couldn't get it. So let's bring that manufacturing back. Incentivize that coming back. Look at it as a national security issue as well as our health and financial security. We also hope that we'll be able to set up some institution of higher learning partnerships with pharmacies and have a $100 million grant pool to do that. It's bipartisan legislation. It is a step in the right direction. I say let's make America manufacture again, and let's bring this pharmaceutical manufacturing back to U.S. shores so that we are no longer dependent on China for things that are sole sourced through China, that we need to keep ourselves well and healthy.
All right, Senator Blackburn, thanks so much for being with us this evening.
Good to be with you. Thank you, Janine.
And
stay safe and well.
You're very welcome. You too. And next, trade advisor Peter Navarro, who has been appointed the point person on the Defense Production Act, is joining us next on the phone. Peter, do we have you?
How are you? How are you, Janine?
Good. Good. We're having some technical difficulties tonight, Peter.
Yeah,
so it's good to hear you.
Things, and, but you know, it's the least of our worries in this crisis. And